my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leora and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is going to be a big one. It's another one of those big videos that I just can't believe that I'm filming them. You know, a couple of months ago I had this collab with Angelica and Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, and I felt like I'm dying sitting here filming that video. And now I'm going to have a collab with Karen Harris and with Katie Marie, and I'm so over the moon. But before I'm going to tell you about those and about what we're doing today, I just want to quickly introduce myself in case someone is new here. So I'm Leora, I'm 41 years old, I'm still in shock about that, can't believe it. I have 7 kids, I'm based in Jerusalem, Israel. I'm a professional makeup artist and I'm a stylist, and I live for color in styling and in my makeup. I'm very much into indie brands, and yeah, and that's what I'm doing. So I hope you consider subscribing. I hope that you enjoy yourself here. It's a very positive place. It's maybe not so much a review channel or things like this because it's just very hard to get stuff to my part of the world, but we're dealing a lot with makeup. I'm also doing a little bit of lifestyle. Once a week, more or less, I'm doing a wrapping tutorial because that is also part of me for my turbans. And yeah, so that's what we're doing here, talking about mental health, also about weight loss, weight maintenance and things like that. English is not my mother tongue, just saying, okay? So anyway, so that is that. Today we're going to talk about the influence of influencers tag, and that is actually a tag I came up with, and I'm so grateful that Karen and Katie Marie agreed to do this with me. And yeah, so that is what we're talking about, because you know, influencers have that name for a reason. They do influence us, and maybe, you know, I'm also influencing on a very small level other people. So I just think that this whole relationship and like this bouncing ball back and forth between customer, influencer, brands and all of that, I think that is a very interesting thing to talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. I have 11 questions. I have 11 questions. I have them right here. I'm very old-fashioned. I have them here. Of course, they're going to be in the description box in case you want to pick up the tag and do it. Please feel yourself tagged. Also, you will find everybody that I am mentioning in this video, of course, also listed and tagged in the description box. Okay, so that is that. Now, Karen Harris, let me just introduce them. Karen Harris, in case you don't know her yet, she is so sweet, a sweet YouTube friend, my favorite tan girl on YouTube. I love her. I found her quite some time ago, maybe a year ago or even longer. Now, people I'm following don't necessarily know that I'm following them because I'm not the greatest commenter. Sorry, but I'm usually there anyway, and because I'm just running out of time, sweeties. I have 7 kids, I have a lot of rescue animals, and I have 2 jobs, and you know, a girl has got to sleep like 2 hours per day, right? So anyway, I'm doing what I can, okay? So she is very sweet. I love her vibe that she has. She has the most amazing collection out there. So jealous. Anyway, you know, so it is just a real pleasure to watch her. She's so relaxed and so sweet, and I'm just it is this friendship vibe that she just portrays immediately when she turns on the camera. I don't know if this is on purpose or she is just that way, and I love that, you know, when people are just the way they are without trying to be someone they are not. It's amazing. I love that, and I really do feel like that about her. And she's just a very genuine, beautiful, lovely girl, young woman. They're all younger than me. By now, everybody's younger than me, seriously. But anyway, so I love her. Please feel free to check out her channel. Of course, she's also going to be linked. And then there is Katie Marie, where I am actually in total disbelief that a couple of, I don't know, weeks or a month or 2 months ago, she actually commented under one of my new makeup releases videos. And I read there Katie Marie, and I responded to the comment and I said, like, really? Are you the Katie Marie? And she was like laughing. And I was fangirling, and I just couldn't believe that she commented that she actually, like, someone watched my videos, you know, like a different YouTuber watched my videos. So I still cannot wrap my head around this. Anyway, yeah, so she is also an amazing person. I'm also going to talk about her a little bit later in the video because I want to pick up on something that is one of the questions. Yeah, I found her not too long ago, honestly, and I'm really loving her vibe. She's very calm and very, I don't know, I just feel like she has like a certain quality about her that really connects me to her, and that also then, I don't want to take too much away because I'm going to talk about that later, but I just love that we all love color. We are just really, really lovely girls. You know, we are, all of us, and we are into eyeshadow palettes, and we are into having big collections, apparently. So anyway, that is to introduce all of us. Please feel free to check out both of those girls and subscribe to them if you like their vibe as much as I do. And yeah, so without further ado, let's go into the questions of the Influence of Influencers tag. Okay, the first question is, are you easily influenced by others, or do you follow your own path? Now, I think by now I'm following my own path for the most part. Okay, because I'm still human, and I do have people that I'm looking up to. Also about that I'm going to, of course, talk in a little bit about. But for the most part now, I feel like I'm at an age where I actually found myself, where I actually know what I want, what I don't want. Especially I know what I don't want anymore in my life, and what I want to try, what I not want to try, what I want to spend my money on, and things like this. So I think that came with age, though. It came with age, and also with spending time in the beauty community and on this platform also, that I found out that I do not need to have everything. Because especially when you're watching my new makeup laces videos every week that are like the longest ones out there, I just can't even believe how I'm even getting this monster edited every week. But then you see how much is out there, and while I am vibing and I'm very positive about most of the releases, because this is just how I see makeup. For me, this is fun. For me, this is my life, and it's just reflections of my soul. And that's why, like, I'm not like bashing stuff just for the sake of getting views or just to be negative because it's cute or something like this, you know? I love what I'm doing, and I love to be in this community, and that's just how I personally see it. So anyway, I just feel like I have learned a little bit more how to fine-tune myself, while of course there is a lot I love. That's a problem, but it's not really an issue of being influenced to buy something. It's more that I actually initially know now what I love. So I would say 2 years or 2.5 years ago, when I started my channel, I was way more influenced. I just felt like I needed all, and then with time it really came like to that point where I felt like, or where I feel now, I know what I want when I see it. I don't necessarily need someone else to prove to me that I need it. You know, it's maybe that I'm gonna look at a review or something to see if the performance is good, but not even that so much, because usually I know how to make my makeup work. And yeah, so that's just how it is. So for the most part, I'm actually really following my own path. Okay, question number 2. Who inspired you so much you wanted to start your own channel? That is not news. That's definitely Angelica or Angelica. She has been the first YouTuber I found when I think I put in the search engine on YouTube, colorful makeup YouTuber something, and she was the one that came up, you know, first. I'm sure there were a lot of other ones, but she was the one that came up first, and I have been binge watching her for the first couple of months, going down her playlists up and down, and I could just not believe how beautiful this person is, how beautiful she is, the vibe she portrays in her videos, the information she also gives, you know, in her videos. And yeah, and we have been connected ever since. And then a couple of weeks ago, I got to collab with her. Like, really? It was like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And yeah, so that was definitely Angelica. So that is the answer for question number 2. Question number 3, name some amazing products that you bought because other influencers recommended them to you. It is hard because I consider so much amazing that maybe someone else does not think of as amazing. When I'm looking over here, it's because my collection is here. So I want to say, for example, that the Norina palettes, the big ones, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I bought them, or let's say the first one I bought because I saw influencers raving about it. Yes, there was also a lot of, drama going on about those releases and stuff being leaked, and then so many palettes coming all at once. Stuff like that is not a problem for me. Throw all the makeup at me, I will always love it. It's not like whatever. If they come out with 4 or 5 or 10 palettes within 3 months, it is maybe not the smartest move on their part, because people can't afford so much makeup, but just makeup wise, just throw it at me. Come out with 20 palettes in 2 months. I don't care, so that, because I just love it. So besides that, also, of course, because they are bigger palettes, for example, I love big palettes. And that is, for example, something that I maybe would not necessarily have bought, because those palettes are quite expensive when it comes to me, because, I have a lot of other expenses having such a big family and the rescue animals and stuff. So I don't necessarily go ahead and buy palettes that are $60 or more. There has to be like a really, really special reason for me to be able to do that. And but there was a certain influence, absolutely. After that, after I loved the first one and the second one, I then bought the other two because I already knew that I would love this. But the initial trigger was definitely being influenced. Then also the other thing is that a couple of weeks ago, I got 3 Pat McGrath palettes that for my birthday from my husband. And my husband told me for my birthday, just order whatever you want, something that you would not buy for yourself if it would just be for you, if it would be your decision. Buy something that is special that you would otherwise not get. So what did I think? I thought about Karen, because I saw her using Pat McGrath quite a bit on her channel, and I thought, wow, I really, really, like, if I would have a wish, I would love to try those palettes, So there was definitely an influence, because otherwise I would have probably, instead of those 3 palettes, I would have probably maybe ordered 10 other palettes, from indie brands that are maybe not as expensive as Pat McGrath. But there was definitely Karen's influence there, who showed me that this is actually beautiful. Even though she's also, swatching them against other shadows and stuff, so from other brands, to see, does one actually need this, or can I dupe it with something else? So it's not like she is pushing Pat McGrath, it's just that I got exposed to Pat McGrath through Karen, and I'm actually super grateful because I love my palettes. I actually really, really do love them. So thank you, Karen. There's so many more products. I just don't want to drag it out too long, but I just, in general, I really vibe with the makeup that I have, and I never get discouraged if it does not work at the first time trying. So that's why I really consider, let's say, 99% of my collection amazing products, and that's why I could really mention a lot here. Okay, the next question is number 4. What's the worst purchase influenced by another influencer you've ever made? Now, I've spoken about this on my channel already, and thank God I never had anything that was really absolutely terrible, like on a big level, that I spent a huge amount of money on this and had a big loss and never wanted to use it again, and like really felt like this is the end of the world. I have spoken about, though, that one purchase that I made that was recommended by Angelica, because these were the Super Shock highlighters from ColourPop. Not working for me, sweeties. Absolutely not working for me. Tried it all kinds of ways to apply this. It just takes off my foundation, and I have melasma underneath. I spent a whole long time every single day to color correct and all that stuff. And because my skin is not naturally flawless at all. After those pregnancies, I had 5 pregnancies with 7 children. I have 2 sets of twins, so it leaves marks on the body. It comes with a price. So just saying, these just did not work for me, and I still have them here to remind me. But anyway, it's all forgiven. It's not her fault, because for her it was amazing. For her it also worked amazing and it looked amazing. It's just I have a different place to start at. I have full coverage foundation, I have the color correcting underneath and all of that, and she doesn't have that. So we always have to, of course, take into consideration that we all start from a different point, and not forget that, because then we're going to be disappointed. Okay, next one, question number 5. Who are your favorite influencers or channels whose opinions and recommendations you trust unconditionally? Now, should I mention Angelica again? This is going to be ridiculous. But anyway, but of course, I'm going to mention a couple of people here. But again, I just need to put that into the framework of I always need to sort of line it up with my preferences also, okay? I'm not going to buy something, again, that does not line up with my preferences, which I just spoke about with the ColourPop highlighters. So yes, there is Angelica, definitely, okay? Then there is Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, because she has a review channel, and she brings in a lot of new makeup and also gets sent a lot, of course, and you get a lot of information there. Plus, I also feel like Annette is not scared to also say that this really did not work for me here, you know? Sometimes she also says, I'm going to get back to this and maybe try some other day and whatever, but I so admire that. I so admire that, and I also spoke about that already on my channel before, where I said, you know what, I asked her about this. I said, how do you have the courage, especially when you get this in PR and you sort of feel like, you need to like this now because you got it for free, sort of, you know? So how do you get the courage to say that this didn't work for you? And then she said to me, Leora, the brands need that. You know, at the end of the day, they're going to benefit from me saying that this doesn't work and this needs improvement and this and that and that. You know, I think that is amazing. And that is also, I think, for me personally, that is a process of growth for myself, because I've been raised to like be a people pleaser, and I also started to need to, I don't know, get out of this and start to actually see what is it I like, what is it that works for me personally, you know? That is definitely something that one has to learn in a lifetime. And yeah, so that's what it is. So there's Annette, there's definitely Nikki, who is Nikki Raven, who is one of my YouTube friends here also. She is based in the Netherlands, and she is also someone who just says it the way it is. She says exactly the way she feels it, you know? And she is also a very, very cute and funny and hilarious way to do it. So she's absolutely cute and funny, and I love that, you know, I absolutely love that. And then there is Paulina. Now, Paulina used to be more my vibe in the sense of colorful makeup. She has sort of changed a little bit, which is absolutely, I'm not judging that at all, because sometimes I'm also doing neutral looks. She has sort of, I wouldn't say she has abandoned the colorful makeup. I don't think she does. It's just that she prefers other things now, you know, and it is also, that is a journey, and it's absolutely legitimate, and I absolutely value her input, you know. She's also doing like a lot of chatty videos now where she just shares about her life, and that is actually also something besides product information that I personally really, really like, because I do that too here on my channel with my lifestyle videos, where I'm just sharing about like mental health and all of these things, and also just what's going on. Sometimes it's just a funny story with my kids or whatever, you know. And I love stuff like this because I feel like there is always something we can learn from and connect to the other person, and I personally really, really value that. And also, she is someone who always says the way it is, you know. So I always love honesty, and that's, you know, that's what I vibe with. Okay, question number 6: is FOMO a thing? Yes, it absolutely is a thing. Fear of missing out is absolutely real in my life, and that is also because of where I live, because I live in the Middle East basically, and that is a hard place to get makeup to. And it's also, I feel anyway, I always feel like very, very disconnected from the rest of the beauty community, basically, because of being so far away, because of always being at the other side of the world in a completely different time zone. Not so much with, of course, the YouTubers in Europe, but you know, the main YouTube beauty community, I would say, is in America, and that is always on the other side of the globe, I guess, for me. And it is a thing. FOMO is definitely something also when you have a limited budget, with the big family and all the expenses that you have there, and of course also now, especially during the pandemic, with less income and all of that, it is definitely a thing. But again, I'm starting to fine-tune myself. It doesn't mean that I don't want a lot, you know, but I'm learning to live with it a little bit more. Question number 7: how much money have you spent in the last 3 months on products you discovered through other influencers? That's hard to say, because as I already told you, I'm loving the makeup that I'm seeing. When I'm seeing it and I love it, I usually want to buy it. So I can't really sort of separate it to exact amounts, but I would say probably a third of the money that I'm spending is because I saw a product mentioned somewhere or featured somewhere. So I would say I'm probably spending more than $150 per month on makeup. And I would say something like $50 worth of that, sometimes a little bit more, is probably because I saw something an influencer mentioned or featured. So I would say something like that. Yeah. All right. The gardener is active again. If you hear this, I'm so sorry. It's just I cannot put my life on hold because of him. He's here every single Monday. Every time I'm filming on Mondays, it's, yeah. Okay. So anyway, question number 8. Have you ever bought something you didn't initially want to buy because other influencers convinced you had to have it? And if so, what is it? That is actually something that I bought because of Paulina. She featured at some point, she featured that Morphe palette, the Life in Color palette that came out, I want to say in the summer 2019, and she featured it and she said, wow, this was really good, this and that and the other thing, and I bought it. I think it was a limited edition palette back then, and I didn't like it. I only bought it because she loved it, you know? Of course, I'm also into colorful palettes anyway, so I'm not gonna blame it on her, because I was looking for colorful palettes to buy anyway. But I bought this one because she said that was awesome. I loved it. At least this is how I remember it. I hope I'm not making up stuff now. But anyway, I didn't enjoy that palette so much. I've used it maybe twice and not anymore. But that's also probably because I'm getting a lot of stuff now, so I've just nicer things to use now, you know? So anyway, that was what I wanted to mention for that one. Okay, question number 9. What's the most important thing you have learned by watching other influencers? That is actually not so much tutorials or things like this, because I'm okay with doing my own makeup with my own makeup techniques and what I've learned. I mean, I have studied to become a makeup artist for 1.5 years, and that is not because I'm extremely slow in learning. It's because I did a lot of different courses, and I'm actually pretty good considering my country. Okay, I would say I'm ranking pretty high in my own country, but my country is very small. Let's say that. Okay, so I think what I learned actually from watching other influencers is that we are all okay. Most of us are okay, but that we are really all sort of feeding a different crowd, you know? And I think that is something that is really, really needed, and it should be, and it's good. It's good that way, because we should not be and we cannot be all the same. And that is something that when I started my channel, I tried to be like Angelica and tried to be like other people that I also liked, and it just doesn't work that way. I'm a different person with a different life, and Angelica is already basically feeding that crowd with her vibe, with the way she is, which is amazing. But there's also a crowd, maybe not as big as her crowd, but there are also people who just vibe with what I'm doing, and there are people who vibe with what both of us are doing, and that applies to all of us here. You know, it applies to Katie Marie, it applies to Karen, it applies to, I have also other people that I wanted to mention, that applies to Debbie from Vinyl Beauty, because she, for example, she's even older than I am, and she is amazing because she also fills there is a void, you know, with older YouTubers that are more mature. And I think that is an amazing thing, that people step out there who fill that void and do it as gracefully as Debbie does it, you know. Then there is Katie from Makeup for Lost Time. She is the complete opposite of me. Yes, she also loves colorful makeup, but she is a metalhead, you know. And we got thrown together in a wild collab, and then we sort of hit it. We hit it off. It's unbelievable that people who are so different can absolutely hit it off like this and just be so accepting of each other. And that is something just I'm learning here, and that I also want to see more of, you know, because I really stand for kindness in the beauty community, and I love that. I love it that it can be this way, that we can just be unconditionally supporting each other just because we are who we are, without judgment. And I love that. And then there's, of course, Katie Marie, and that is what I also said in the beginning already, that I wanted to get back to that she is a person that is a believer. She believes, she is a religious person, and I love that. And she is not scared to talk about that on her channel, and also to say, you know, there are certain things that are just for me and my husband, things like that, which I absolutely vibe with. Now, we are not sharing the same religion, but I mean, I'm Jewish, she's Christian, but does that matter to me? Absolutely not. You know, does it matter to me if other people are not having any religion? It doesn't matter to me, you know, because I want to have all my channels open. I want to be loving to everybody. And this is how we bring light into the world, every single person in their own way. And this is how we can make a change, you know. And I love that about Katie Marie, that she is not hiding it, you know, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are hiding that part of themselves. Even if they would say, you know, I hate religion, or I hate God, or I hate whatever. People are hiding a lot of stuff, and I love it that she's just really open about it. The other day she did like a Q&A kind of a video where she also spoke about this, and I was sitting there and I was like, wow, this is so cool. I love that. I love that, you know. So I think just us being who we are and just genuinely sharing and not being scared of backlash or negativity. Yeah, yes, I am. I'm scared sometimes a little bit, but still, you know, I'm still here. I'm still sharing. I'm still being who I am. It's really hard to hide who I am. So, and I love that. I love that, especially also about Katie Marie. Okay, the next question number 10 is, do you watch the kind of content you create, or do you go for something different, and why? So what's my answer to that? I'm mostly, of course, watching my YouTube friends, and that is because I want to support their channels. That is what I'm doing. The thing is, though, that with all the stuff that is going on in my life, work-wise, family-wise, and all of that, it is super hard for me to keep up with that, because as I am here a longer time now, my YouTube friendships, or the range of the YouTubers that I'm trying to support, has grown a lot, and I'm basically not getting around to doing a lot anymore, which is a shame. And sometimes it is really just, you know what, sometimes you also need a break. If you're yourself a YouTuber, sometimes you just need to step away, because, you know, if you're filming and then you're editing and then you're also watching other YouTubers, it's a lot of time spent on YouTube or for YouTube, and sometimes you just need a break. So what I honestly do is I'm not watching so much other content on YouTube besides, how does one say that? Podium debates? Does one say that? Like debates about certain topics, you know, political topics, whatever topics. And I watch it in German because I was born in Germany. My mother tongue is German, and I love to just hear that language. It calms me down, you know? So I'm just watching debates, or I'm not watching them because that's really boring, but I have it running in the background while I'm doing, I don't know, cooking or whatever for my family, and I just hear my language. That is what I'm doing, but that is not really because I'm super interested in what they have to say, but it's more because I want to hear the German language because of the soothing effect that it has on me, especially right now in this worldwide crazy situation. But besides that, what I also do is I love listening to audiobooks. You know, like while I'm doing my makeup, when I'm not filming, I'm listening to audiobooks usually, you know, because that is, I love that, to just go into this other realm, this other world, just takes you away from your own things, you know. I love that. Okay, I would say audiobooks, and then what I just said with the debates on YouTube, that is probably what I'm watching besides trying to support my friends here on YouTube. Okay, last question, sweeties. If you could influence a large number of other influencers to try one thing that's really important to you or works well for you, what would it be? Now, I could tell you, use this brand, use that brand, try this technique, try that technique. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that because I feel that we are all so different that we all need to make up our own minds. And I think that is basically what is really my answer for this question, is that we need to just find ourselves in all of this and need to find out what is where I'm coming from, what are my needs, what are my preferences, and then see what is out there, and then we can sort of see what comes back to us, what answers us. You know, I sometimes say also in my videos, sometimes I'm asking my palette a question. Like I just filmed a couple of days ago, I filmed, for example, a video about all my fall palettes, and I was standing here in front of my collection and I said, palettes, who of you are fall themed? You know, so I was asking, I know, I'm crazy. And then I was going through them and I saw which palettes answered me, you know? And that is of course not because they have voices, but I had this vibe. I sort of felt suddenly that this feels like this could go. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel like this is my answer, that we should all just start to feel ourselves a little bit more. For example, also Angelica is starting to do this now, I think for the last year or so, where she said, I'm doing now fewer but nicer things. That is a thing where I say this is a person finding herself, fine-tuning herself, you know, things like that. So of course, if you have a review channel like Annette's, it's very, very hard to fine-tune yourself, but even she is doing it. You know, even she is also saying, no, I do not want to have your PR, or I do not want to support this brand anymore. And, you know, so she's also fine tuning. And I think that is really, really something where we just have to learn to do that in a lot of ways, not just regarding makeup. And then also learning how to stay open at the same time and see changes and allowing them, because that is a good thing to happen. And there I go to Paulina, who had that change happening to her, that she's vibing more with more like neutral makeup looks and the soft glam and things like this. And I think this is amazing, because a lot of people, you know, it takes a lot of courage too, because a lot of people subscribed to her initially because she was that super colorful person and all of that, and then to have the guts to actually change the whole vibe of your channel, or let's say 80% of the vibe of your channel, by changing your whole appearance, you know, it takes a lot of courage, and I admire that. And I think that is something that we all have to learn, that we all need to keep the channels open to see also the change in us, because there is change. We are all on a journey. It's not like we're stuck in one place. And I think that is what we just have to allow to happen. We need to get the courage to let it allow to happen, but that is something that comes with time and also with gaining territory. So that is something that I just wanted to put out there and share. And I hope you did enjoy my tag. I hope you're gonna go now and check out Karen and Katie Marie, what their answers to my questions are. And of course, if you are a fellow YouTuber, then please feel free to pick up the tag and do it. I would love to see what you're doing with the tag, and please tag me so I can see what you're doing, because otherwise I might miss it. So I'm just super thrilled that I could be here today. I hope you did enjoy yourself. And of course, if you like the vibe of my channel, please check out my other videos, my other content, because it is, as I told you already, a bit of a mixed bag here, but mostly of course it is makeup related, and I hope you will enjoy yourself here and consider subscribing. Besides that, you will find of course the questions in the comment section, and also the makeup that I am wearing today. And yeah, and that is it for today, and I hope to see you here tomorrow for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses.